Alright, so, um, I was interrupted by two things happening at once. The first is my hard drive was clicking, which this has been an ongoing problem for about a decade at this point. I've literally had this computer doing this with the hard drive for like 10 years. um, it's just a hard drive glitch. Usually it's a sign that the hard drive is dying, but I don't know. It's still going after, like, it's almost been 15 years at this point. Um, anyway, yeah, so the hard drive glitch happened, and at the same exact time, Choice Wireless, my ISP, decided to completely Amber Heard the bed. And I don't know, maybe there was some weird technical glitch or something that caused it to that caused the hard drive to glitch and start not reading because of the internet issue. I don't know why that would be the case, but they literally happened at exactly the same time. Like, by the time I shut down my computer, or force shut down my computer, because it's not going to shut off normally when it does that. My Xbox disconnected. And I could not get it to connect for over an hour. Or actually more like half an hour, but yeah, that was a bit of an extended problem. Now, there is something political I have to bring up. Not that I particularly want to, but there is a major inaccuracy by the Trump administration right now. And I'm going to post like a theory, yada yada yada, as to why it's going on. But anyway, I'm going to start with the government has shut down right now. The date is October 1st, 2025. And I noticed a major red flag, amongst the like tens of thousands of other red flags in our present administration that I've seen. But this is a major fascism red flag, along with the hundreds of other major fascism red flags I've seen by this administration. And if it wasn't for this combination of things going on right now, I would have just kept my big dumbass mouth shut. But I feel that this is a little important to just ignore. Like, even on, just a gaming channel. Right? This is something that I have to say, have to get it out there. Set the record straight, so to speak. Now, normally, when a government shutdown happens, it will just say that something to the effect of Congress could not make a decision right? So the government or Congress could not make a decision on the budget bill, and so the government has to shut down, right? That's what it would normally say. But what it says right now is that because of the Democrats, which is 100%, well, I mean, okay. It is technically, actually, you know what? No, that's false. That is false. It is up to both parties to get it done. But the Democrats did make a stand for a very good purpose. Okay? At this point in time, there's about, you know, tens of millions of Americans about to lose their health care or something like that. Well, oh god, how do I word all this stuff? There's like multiple points and it goes back and forth. Okay, so Trump's big, beautiful bill has been set for the group that oversees Medicaid or Medicare, whatever it's called, to make massive cuts. And the only way that's happening is if they cut the health insurance, Medicaid, Medicare, right? Democrats have taken a stand in Congress and basically said that they will, or at least at this present time, they will vote for the budget plan if, now this is key, if the Republicans agree to restore funding to Medicaid and or Medicare. Right? So, bring back Americans' health care. Republicans have spun this as, you know, like that the Democrats just want to give immigrants health care. Immigrants can't apply for Medicaid and Medicare. That's not how the system works. They need a social security number, and you cannot give one. You cannot get a social security number unless you are a legal American citizen. Anyone that tells you that they can get, that illegal immigrants can get a social security number without becoming a citizen is just straight up lying to you. Seriously, look up the laws. Read the laws of this country. Now, back to how do I? There's so many parts to this. It's not even funny. I would have to like look like Charlie from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You know, with the map and the board up on the wall. looking for that one dude he says doesn't exist. Because there's a lot of moving parts to this. I'm trying to save the biggest pieces of this whole scenario for last, and it's making it difficult to try to put everything in order to an understandable thing. Anyway, yeah. So it should not say Democrats on the CDC website. It should not say that the shutdown is caused by Democrats. Okay? It's not really. Because the Democrats are demanding for a budget to be returned to something that helps Americans. Okay? And in addition, a couple days before the shutdown, every single congressional Democrat was in the building where they take the votes. They were in the room where they take the votes. You know who wasn't there? Every single Republican. They were not there doing their job, ready to do the vote. Democrats were. Right? Again, with the stipulation that people would get to keep their health care. Which again is not illegal immigrants because they can't get a social security number. You see what I'm saying about a lot of moving parts? Now, that is most of part one. There's another part. Republican congressman, is he a congressman or just a speaker? I don't know. Republican Speaker Mike Johnson canceled the vote. He made an executive decision to say that the votes cannot take place, right? So Congress would not be able to vote on the budget bill. So Mike Johnson is presently the one who made the actual decision to not vote, which led the government to shut down. Okay, Mike Johnson is the head person that tells Congress that organizes the whole making votes and deciding what goes on the floor and all of that. Okay, he is the person that by canceling the votes caused the government to shut down because we didn't have a budget bill. It's not the Democrats, it's specifically Mike Johnson's decision that was made. Okay? And I'm almost 100% positive that the Democrats standing up for our country is one of the reasons that he did that. No, making sure that that they would not vote for the bill unless funding was returned to the health care. Now, there's another big piece of information that may also tie into Mike Johnson canceling all the votes and forcing the government to shut down. And that is the Trump administration is neglecting to confirm a Democratic congresswoman who won in her state, in her district, by more than 40 points, or at least 40 points. Right? She won. Republicans have refused to allow her her seat that she legitimately won. If there was nothing riding on the line, if there was like no real reason to do it, to hold her back, then they would have just confirmed it in. But there isn't a real reason that is publicly like well known. Right? Like, there's nothing obvious that she did like anything wrong. She's just a Democrat who won in her district, and that's why they're keeping her out. And the reason they're keeping out this additional Democrat congresswoman is because if the budget bill was passed, the government would still be continuing to run, and they would eventually have to either make a decision to confirm her or keep kicking the can down the road the entire time. And she would be, now get this, she is the last vote needed to actually get the remaining Epstein files released. Unredacted, open to the public. All of them released. She is the last vote needed. And I am guessing that is a big part of why the government, why Mike Johnson has canceled the voting and why the Republicans have refused to show up. Because if they were to stay in there and do their jobs, she would be confirmed, and then they would have the vote. Which would, it's two different issues. It's bringing funding back to Medicare and releasing the Epstein files. She is literally the last person that the vote needs in order to pass. So yeah, that, like, personally, I think the entire Republican administration, the entire MAGA Trump administration, is basically panicking right now. Fuck. God, I hate that bridge so fucking much. They are panicking way more than I was on that bridge. And they know they're screwed. So right now, they're throwing every single thing they possibly can, whether it be trying to control the narrative, such as doing things like what they did with the CDC site, where it says that the Democrats are at fault for the shutdown. To keeping Democrats out of their out of offices that they have rightly won. Yeah, it just it pisses me off when I see falsities like that. And then I go through and I find a couple things and realize, yeah, they're not telling the truth again. It's really easy to look up all this information yourself too. You just got to search for it. And I'm not somebody who just like believes everything they hear or watch from like one side either, right? Because here's what I do. When I see something that's sketchy, I try to find other sources on said topic, right? A lot of times I will double check. Like, for example, a lot of people were claiming that Charlie Kirk said that all gay people should be stoned to death. That is not what he said. Basically, what he did was he quoted Leviticus in context from the Bible. Now, or the King James Bible. Now, if he were to stop there, it would have just been a religious statement. But in the very next breath, he said, you know, and I quote, he did not say God's plan, or it's God's plan. He said it's God's perfect plan. Which means, by that extra emphasis that he is applying there, that means he agrees with that statement, be it religion or not. Which is a horrible thing. Okay? That is one of the reasons, like, I'm not gay, but that is one of the reasons that I will never be a Christian. The closest thing would be to ignore the King James Bible and go back to the Geneva Bible. Right? The Geneva Bible was where the King James was transcribed from. And there was various political and editing changes that were made to the religious texts in the King James Bible. right? The Geneva Bible simply states that man shall not lay with another man, for it is an abomination. Right? That's not, they should be stoned, or if a man lay with another man, they both should be stoned to death. That is the King James Bible. Right? The King James Bible has been politically altered. From the original words and their original meanings. Geneva Bible. Don't do that because it's wrong. King James Bible. Don't do that because you should be killed. You see the difference? Real Christian. Another good question that I have is, how does that particular passage in Leviticus stand with the 10th commandment with that one commandment of thou shalt not kill? Thou shalt not kill unless you find two men who lay with each other. Like, is that what God wants? You know? Don't use the King James Bible, people. There is a website where you can actually read all the different quotes from a whole bunch of different kinds of Bibles. And I consider that to be very helpful to see where things have changed and where things have gone to a ridiculous extreme, such as the King James. Right, I need to recover this. Boom. Go to global map. Go to Lake Cove. And garage. Wow, so 25 minutes I was in... Okay, so yeah, it takes a little over an hour. Or, no, it took less than an hour. It takes just under an hour to get a readied P12 to its destination. But yeah, Charlie Kirk did not say that gay people should be stoned to death, but he explicitly agreed by saying God's perfect plan instead of just saying it's God's plan. He explicitly agreed with a man should be a man who is gay should be, or a man who lay with another man should be stoned to death. He explicitly agreed with that because of what he said in his next breath. He was not a good man. Right? I'm doing a deep dive on various political figures, going into their policies, their um, their actions, what they've done, and what their stances are, as well as what's changed over the years. See if like they've gone backwards on their stances. Now back to what I was saying about I don't just look up or don't just believe whatever I see, whatever I find. There's a principle which was sort of an example that I created by doing the Charlie Kirk thing, the Bible thing, right? There is a principle that I follow, which is if there is a conflict, then something is false. Something about one of those sides is not true, right? And here's what I find most often. And not even by opinions, by about what should be done, just actual facts, like events that happened, right? Things that are not deniable, things that have paper trails. If you take everything that Democrats have done and do, and everything that Republicans have done and do within like the past 30, 40 years, you will find that Democrats and Republicans have conflicts, right? There's conflicting beliefs, evidence, information, talking points, right? That's normal. They're two opposite sides. Now, if you take the Republicans and set them aside for a minute, you take the conservatives and set them aside for a minute, and only focus on the Democrats, you will find very little contradictions. Tiny amounts of contradictions. Now you take the Democrats, set them to the side, and you bring the conservatives and Republicans and MAGA back, and just focus on their conflicts between themselves. It's almost as much as their conflicts between the Republicans and the Democrats. There is a vastly higher amount of conflicts within the Republicans' own party than there is on the other side of the aisle. Okay? And that is why I am anti-conservative, anti-right-wing. It's not that I love being a Democrat or I think they can't go wrong or anything. Yes, they go wrong a lot. But there's a matter of degree to take into account here that a lot of voters on the right side just either don't take into account or simply don't believe. There is a vast disparity on who is actually telling the truth. And by that conflict analysis, by analyzing people and topics in both parties, the people on the left a microscopic fraction of falsities within their own party compared to a massive amount of falsities within their own party on the right. This is just my experience, right? And I do look at both sides of the aisle when it comes to news as well. I don't really watch mainstream media a whole lot. Hardly ever, actually. So, like, that's... Which, interestingly enough, is also another, like, right-wing talking point. The mainstream media lies. It's all on the left side. No, it's fucking not, actually. MSNBC tells nothing but lies. I don't really watch MSNBC. First of all. And there's not really a whole lot I've seen with MSNBC that conflicts with the left party whatsoever. Fox News, on the other hand, Newsmax, on the other hand, Real America's Voice, on the other hand, Turning Point USA, on the other hand, etc., you know, etc. And it's really just disheartening to see the ridiculous amount of people that have fallen for all of these lies and falsities portrayed by the right as something that the left did, when in reality, most of the time, it's either something that on the right did or something that didn't even happen at all. Anyway, that's my rant. I'm going to get back to the game now, because I'm sure you don't want to hear politics for like 2 hours. But yeah, I'm doing a deep dive. I'm looking into politics, politicians, events, issues. Oh, one last thing. Did you hear that ICE has now started arresting like veterans? I don't know too much about that particular event. I think the veteran was a protester. I'm not sure. But yeah. They tackled an old man. Wait, did they tackle him or did they just slam him to the ground? I would need to watch the video again. Anyway, I'm driving a truck. Okay, one last thing about politics. I have OCD, right? I have the ability to sit down and study and study and study and lay out masses of information that I've derived from other information. Listing them, sorting them, putting them in order. So, if Republicans don't want me to basically take everything they've ever done in the Trump administration, both first and second, as well as what Trump did during the Biden administration, then they better hope my gaming is not interrupted. Because that is where a huge amount of my focus will turn to. The amount of information that I know about and can put in concise, organized segments, in order, thoroughly researched or studied from other people who have done research, is actually pretty fucking staggering. It's to the level that I would make Democrats go, there's no way that all of this is true, when it comes to the stuff that the Republicans are doing and have done. Okay, there you go. So hey, you don't you wanna keep that from becoming a database. You better make it easier for me to live and live my life and keep me playing the games I like to play. Alright, rant's done. So how are you people? Type how you're doing in the comments. So apparently, there's been news with my landlord. He's going to have to use this property to repair his trucks now. Because apparently he got a order from the city that he lives in that he is no longer allowed to work on his trucks in front of his own house. Some HOA bullshit, if you ask me. So he's going to have to bring any trucks that he needs to work on down here to work on them. Or at least if it's a small issue, to just not be in the place that he lives. You know, maybe drive like a mile out of town or something. But supposedly right now he has a leaky head gasket. So he does, like, in order to get to the engine for this particular truck, they actually need to pull the cab off of the truck. They need to pull the cab off of the engine. Which they did build like an engine hoist over here. So they should more than easily be able to do that. But yeah. Anyway, so I guess he's going to be over here more frequently now. Because the only other way he'd be able to do it is if he rented a big building. And just like everybody else in these times, he's struggling financially, so. And he's been extremely nice to let me to stay here practically free. Because I don't have the money to pay him. This is not the way this needs to be facing. Okay. Yeah, I'm also going to have to clean up in here a little bit. because inside here, inside this trailer, is the only working toilet on the property. So it's over a full month after my birthday, and my mom finally got around to making my birthday cake. So I had cake today. So much easier than that stupid road right there. I'm just happy to get this particular contract freaking done. You know what I mean? This long logs transporting has been nothing but trouble. And I should back up. Are you a hot dog, huh? I hear you panting. What's up, bub? It is kind of warm in here, but then again, this back room has always been the warmer room. then we have the most precarious spot in all of this Lake Cove path. There's this friggin' icy road up here. Icy, uneven, rocky road. This makes me want ice cream now. God damn it. And we are past the problem spot. Apparently, the airplane is one of the biggest items in the entire game. Short of being a heavy or wide semi-trailer. Okay, that's half the trip. After I finish streaming, there's a couple things I'm going to have to take care of for the upcoming week with some of these changes being made. Okay, now I get to make second set of path nodes. Back to the Butt Clench Central is a little bridge right here. You know, I wonder how deep this water actually is. I'm wondering if a vehicle with like a high up snorkel has the ability to go in there. Yeah. This is the big sketch part. I'm not saying there's zero risk, but the risk is pretty low up to the bridge, and the risk after the bridge to destination is even lower than that. The bridge is really the highest risk here, the highest risk part of the entire trip. Yeah, here's another thing. If I didn't have to move some stuff pretty soon, and if it wasn't for the fact that I need to prep for my landlord to be, in presence fairly commonly, I would actually jump on Red Faction Guerrilla after this and play into the night, and then jump on Cyberpunk 2077 and continue playing into the night as well. Probably finishing both of those games and switching to new games afterwards. Which, that reminds me, I need to find a game to replace Red Faction Guerrilla. As a main rotation game. I'm still going to play Red Faction Guerrilla. I'm going to move it down to the just for fun category. But I'll be playing it on professional difficulty with cheats. So basically, what's going to happen? Like you say, why would you do that? It'd just be about the same difficulty, probably. Yeah, probably. But the thing is a lot of annoying things about the game are going to be gone. And because of that, it's literally going to change the way the game is played. Like, I'm going to go, like, full cheats. Like, everything that's beneficial is going to be turned on. Because I had enough trouble with the base game. Go with a little bit lower speed, lower gear. You don't dig yourself down into the muck as much. Am I going to be able to get up here without the winch? No shit. Never mind. Okay. Fuck. I was positive I was gonna miss that. Got some deeper snow here. Go. Alright. Alright. There we go. That's exactly where I needed it. Okay. Let's see. We are golden to the bridge. We are golden to the bridge. Very little difficulty from here to it. And if we make it across the bridge, it's almost certainly in the bag. Almost. Hi, puppy. You doing well? Good girl. Good little fuzzy fart. Good little fuzzy fart. Little popcorn fart of a dog. Here's another thing. This semi-trailer, I'm gonna need to take to a trailer store. I'm gonna need to sell this trailer. Yeah, and the feet don't go up unless it's attached to a truck. So I absolutely need a semi-attachment. And it's a much shorter distance to the trailer store here, but it is much safer if I would take it the long way back down to the Lake Cove trailer store. Wait, there's two trailer stores there. One is slightly closer. Yeah, I have to do a couple things after I'm done streaming. I'm gonna have to make dinner. I'm gonna have to feed Bella, and at least one task I should take care of, just in case I'm moving stuff tomorrow. Basically, it's preparation, getting a couple things ready to move. Since we fueled up, we can probably just all-wheel drive this the rest of the way. Keep underestimating how close this bridge is. gotta be shitting. You've got to be shitting me. How did I do this? God damn it. I did this so I could make a better turn into the fucking goddamn bridge. Now I'm 100% stuck. We were so close to being done with this with strategic reserve within a respectable time. No longer the case. God, this is the worst fucking, like, quest. Sure. Again, bad game design, pointing directly away from the garage. Oh, you know what? You know what? Why don't I go ahead and, after I unstuck the P12, why don't I go and park this next to the semi-trailer? Seems like a good idea to me. Chances are is I'm not going to need it until I'm ready to redeem the trailer. Shit, I am way further off than I thought I was. Why? I hate Amandra. I really do. Can I go back to Tamir? Like pre-Tataran Tamir? Only that stupid P-12 didn't get fucking stuck. I thought I'd be able to drive up and over and avoid the fucking slog. It's weird that the back of this truck has like this void. Back of the cab, it's weird. Doesn't get stuck here. Trailer store's up here so I can refuel. Yeah, in this spot, that's an ultra slog for no real reason. How do I get my house, or how do I get to my house through here in a Pinto? Where are the roads at? Okay, so that trailer specifically requires saddle high. Okay, good to know. like that trailer stores double as fuel stations. I collided with the road there. There's that theremin. You know, a lot of trucks in the cab have a built-in clock. You know, to not only keep track of the time, but to like set alarms to wake you up so you can drive again and that type of thing. Based on the truck, there should be a timer in one of the corners of the screen that keeps track of what the time it is, so that, you know, while you're driving, you can just glance in that spot like a real truck driver. And butt puckering. Um, you know, just see what time it is. Okay. Sitting up. Go. Moment of truth. Okay. Yeah. 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 Holy fucking dog shit, man. I'm gonna get a peek and see if I can't avoid that spot. Yeah, okay. Okay, so this is an easier spot than going through those rocks up there. So even on the last trip, I still managed to make an adjustment. That's an improvement to the trek. We're basically golden. There's only a couple of mild difficulty problem spots, but we basically got this in the bag at this point. The literal worst case scenario is somehow we flip the P12 and have to bring a truck with a crane to right the P12 and get the logs back in the back on the rig. Okay. So there's precarious icy road that we have to make sure we stay on and don't flip, hit the rocks, or drive off. There's some rocks up ahead and a slog, and we're good. Don't even need to conserve fuel at this point. Just pick up our speed. Take some minor damage. Past the rocks. Then the minor slog. Take this wide, go around the Mark 38. And very well now. We should have plenty of fuel that lasts the winter. Excuse me? Oh, it's an Azov. I'm gonna go in reverse here. No, Val. Get something in your snoot? pretty sure I heard an alarm like that in the 90s. Okay. So we have these tasks that might be all the tasks on the map. And we have 2 contracts. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 12 missions in total. With one yet having presented itself, or I just haven't found it. There's also one missing upgrade somewhere here in Amandra. I still haven't been up over here. There might be one up there, but I need to bring a trailer or a truck with chains down. There's also this path I haven't looked at. There's still the rest of the coast. Haven't been here yet. Haven't been over here. Another little house down here. Who knows where it is. There's still a lot of different places. Yeah, I might not have even uncovered the mission. That might be why. Now, there's a couple good potential spots for an upgrade to be hidden. Okay, well, I already have the metal detector module. They just give you that free for no reason. Um, let's go into the garage and find something to take up there. I mean, that might actually count as the last upgrade. I don't know. Take the Tega. Haven't given this truck enough love. Stop at the trailer store. And we will preemptively sell that big trailer as well. And there's a fly in here bugging me. Okay, this fly is being a motherfucker right now. Now this truck actually was able to not get stuck. How about that? Yeah, that's 7,500 smackaroos. And if you're going by high school currency, that's Dunkaroos. There's only 3 trucks to have that it doesn't work on. Ford CLT 9000, yeah, because that's going to be going off-roading real good. Same thing with the Transstar 4070A. Either one of the Vorons would work fine with this. GMC is not great. Royal BM17 is okay, but not great. Kodiak, same thing. So we're looking for the Paystar. Oh, Caterpillar CT680. There we go. And the P12. Fleet Star and the Step. Okay, there's our good choices. The Paystar, the Caterpillar, the Pacific, the Fleet Star, and the Step. Fleet Star's good and fuel efficient, but I need to do some real off-roading, almost certainly, with it. So, let's see. I'm thinking Paystar, Caterpillar, probably the Caterpillar CT680, but I'm going to go with the Step for this, just because I have not used the Step. That was the last upgrade. Story mission, last upgrade. Okay. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to leave the truck here for now. Who knows, it might come in handy later. I mean, there is a trailer right near me. So, quite possibly, will come in handy. We're going to go ahead. Bust out the Step. Okay, what else can we slap on this that doesn't affect the metal detector? Is it just the saddles? Got optional diff lock and all-wheel drive. That's good. That is actually a bit of a bitch to get to. Yeah, we've got like 5 minutes, and I'm gonna end the stream. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the step this way. Refuel at the BM-17. Let's hope we won't need a snorkel. Because I didn't put one on this truck. Low gear diff lock's got some pretty good fuel economy. I will say that. Even adding on all-wheel drive isn't bad. I'm probably going to need it for a bit of this here. And that's pretty much all the time we got. So, very last thing before I head out is I'm going to see if I can afford a truck. Okay, I sold a trailer. I need to make sure I have room for the long log trailer, which is 14,000. So 90,000. Oh no, 95,000. 90,000. So I have 90,000 leeway. So I can buy the next truck if it's 90,000 or less. Yeah. God damn it, Choice Wireless. Wait for the "Do you own this game" message to pop up. Game is working. Resume. I should have thought that I should probably have generally 10,000 more than what the truck costs in layaway. Have to buy those because otherwise I'm not going to be able to do shite with this. Oh, this thing can go underneath. Nice. This can use the big crane. Dude! Yes! That is good. That is really good. Long flatbed. It's like 3 slots? Okay. It can use the multi-purpose module, which is a very good module. Repair, medium logs, short logs, large maintenance frame add-on. Wow. That's cool. Seismic module. Sideboard bed alongside with another 3 slot. That's cool. Fuel tank, ramp towing platform. You can use this truck to haul other trucks. H2O tiny crane if you don't want the big ones. Saddle high, saddle low, hydrolift saddle. Cool. That's really cool. Oh, it's got some speed. We're just testing out this truck for the moment. Always on, all-wheel drive and differential lock. Considering what kind of truck this is, that's not bad fuel consumption, to be perfectly honest. Good fuel tank, good fuel consumption, diff lock and all-wheel drive, always on. Has a roof snorkel. Let's see how it handles this this slog here without low gear. The step was having issues. This truck just goes through it. This is an awesome truck. This is a really powerful truck. Oh my god. This truck would have made things so much easier earlier on. So much easier. This is actually the kind of truck you need to tackle a banjo. No joke. Okay. Last thing we're doing before I recover it and stash it away, and also check for long log attachment, rear attachment, we're going to see how well it goes through this slog without low gear. Okay. Switch to low. Okay, so it is still slog. It's still vulnerable to the really, really bad slogs. Okay. Still very good fuel. It took me only 25 liters to get here. And it's got beacons to play with. I like this truck very much. I'm glad I got this. I wish I had got this one way earlier. I think this one would have been way more useful than the other Azov with the roof. Snorkel. That being said, as powerful as this is, there are two other more powerful engines at the cost of fuel consumption. Advanced Special, which I believe gives additional low gear. It does have long log thing. This would have made the long log thing easier, I think. I don't think this truck would have gotten stuck as easily as the P12 did on those rocks back there. And in addition, it has two the rear fenders disappear with the long log thing. Kind of interesting. Alright. We're done for now. Time for me to do what's necessary for me to eat and get ready for bed. God, I'm so glad I got done with that mission, that long log mission. That was awful. Alright. Later.